Okay, hi, hello. I hope I am in the frame. Welcome back to my channel, and this video I will be showing you how I made the shirt and the pants of my Maria Renard cosplay from Castlevania. I will put this cosplay in 3 or 4 parts, because the next part will be the belt, the shoes and her legging, and the third part will be wig styling. And I also wanted to do like her birds that she summons in the animation, but I'm not quite sure about that yet, so I don't know if the fourth video will happen, but definitely 3, maybe 4 videos for my Maria cosplay. So yes, like and subscribe, follow me on my Instagram, comment if you have any questions or something you want to say. My DMs are open, all that. And let's get to crafting. I forgot to record making the base of the sleeve, but this is basically a normal sleeve but just very wide. I'm just going to pin it into my mannequin and ruffle it on the mannequin. Okay, so this is the back that will be pleated right here to still be fitted but allow me movements. This is like the top of the back, which this part will be attached to. This is obviously the front, and this is like the side, a part that will be under my armpit, again to still make the front fitted but to not restrain my movements. Okay, I do not have a serger, but I'm just going to use this overlock like stitch. Made those pleats on the back of the shirt, and I ironed the pleats to make them more stable. Then I pinned it onto the upper back part. I sew those together. This pattern looks insane, but this is just how the pattern for the sleeves turn out, because the sleeve will have to be ruffled. I prefer making ruffles by gathering stitching it by hand. I know you can do it by a sewing machine, but I just feel like I have more control over it when I do it by hand. And for the bottom of the pink sleeve, I made this small pink rectangle and I ironed some interfacing on it. Interfacing is like this thin fabric that has this, like, one of the sides has the glue and the glue melts when you iron it, and then it adds more structure. And then it was time to pin it onto my sleeve. I took that white sleeve from the beginning and pinned it together with the pink one. Okay, and then I pinned and sewed and pressed the seams of those sleeves to the shirt. And once again, I forgot to record how I made this collar, and I only have this short video of how I pinned the ruffle I made in place and was about to sew the ruffle onto the collar. And after that I pinned in and sewed the collar onto the shirt. I made those tails, which is basically a one strap of fabric with the interfacing sewed into another another scrap of fabric with the interfacing, and I know the sides look a bit wonky for now, but it doesn't really matter because I will be adding bias tape. I don't really know how to explain how I attached the bias tape. I don't really know how to do it. I was hand stitching with a gather stitch because it's a very loose stitch, and I was also helping myself with the pins, and then I was pinning the other side to the first side. I don't know, it's hard for me to explain it, but I hope that you could see it in the video. Then I sewed the bias tape onto those tails. I made a total of 6 tails, and here I am pinning it onto the shirt, and then I kind of made gathers on the bottom of the shirt where these tails weren't touching. I kind of gathered it together because it was a bit too wide for me, so I was trying to cinch it a bit. I'm doing something weird now. I basically loosely sewed the front of the shirt together to those decorations better. And for those decorations I pressed 4 strips of bias tape, and when it comes to those endings, once again, I don't really know how to explain it, and you can't really see it in the video because I was just trying to iron it to make the shape that I wanted. I don't know, I was kind of lost there, and I marked the places where I would want those decorations to go, and then I started pinning them, and then I also hand sewn these together, and after I did that I sew it by a machine, yeah. And then I cut open the shirt, attached bias tape on the sides, and then it was time to sew in this invisible zipper, and it was kind of too long, but it was okay because I will be wearing a belt. And I secured the fabric with the overlock stitch. I pinned it together, and then I sew it and also ironed the stitches. I sewed the legs together. I definitely wanted pockets in those pants, so I used my phone as a guide for the size of the pocket, and when I was sewing them into the pants, I actually put them on the back. I prepared the belt by interfacing a rectangle into the fabric and then sewing it onto the pants. I added bias tape on the bottom of the pant legs, And then I made some ruffles by hand stitching. Then I secured it with a straight stitch on my sewing machine, and I pinned it and then sew it onto the pins. I hope I am in the frame. If not, this is how the pants look. And this is how this first part of the costume looks like. I am pretty satisfied with how it turned out. I look the same as I did in the intro because I'm recording the intro and the outro at the same time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be posting part 2 soon, and yes, we will see each other again, hopefully.